quiet road in Vero Lake Estates. It's a small glimpse of a young girl's life.
She was just starting out.
And as her mother, Haylee Hughes, gathers the courage to share her daughter's story. She knows that story ended far too soon.
She was my firstborn. I was 18 when I had her. We pretty much grew up together. I was so excited to see all the things that she was going to do.
I do have the ambulance on the way, and I have law enforcement en route as well.
She's breathing a little heavy. Please, hurry.
On April 12th, Florida Highway Patrol says 15-year-old Haylee Hughes was walking to her bus stop on the corner of 79th and 102nd Avenue when a truck swerved into the Sebastian River high schooler, hitting her and tossing her body onto a grass shoulder. The teen was flown to St. Mary's Medical Center, but doctors determined her brain had gone too long without oxygen and declared her brain dead. After 10 days, her mom made the gut-wrenching decision to take Haylee off life support.
That was the hardest thing to have to witness my daughter stop breathing.
FHP says the person who hit Haylee was one of her classmates, a high school senior on his way to school. We aren't identifying him because he's a minor. According to the traffic homicide investigation report, he not only hit Haylee, but left the scene.
911, what's the address of your emergency?
I was just driving by. There's a young lady by a construction site. I think she was hit by a car.
That's the only call made to 911 related to the crash. The voice belongs to the teen driver's father.
She's not talking. She's breathing, though. Thank God.
FHP says the teen's cell phone records indicate he hit Haylee sometime before 6:23 a.m. He stopped just past the crash. FHP investigators say the teen told them he thought he hit a mailbox. He then called his father and told investigators his father told him to come back home to look at the damage. Cell phone records indicate at 6:31 a.m. he then leaves for school again. According to the FHP investigative report, at 6:37 a.m., now about 14 minutes after FHP believes Haylee was hit, the driver's father was on scene calling 911.
You don't see any vehicles around or any weapons or anything?
I know what happened. I know what happened. I just got a call from my son. He was on his way to school on 79th Street. He's like, Dad, I think I hit a mailbox. I don't understand. I wasn't even in the middle of the road.
Okay, so your son probably hit a vehicle or hit a person.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Okay. That's well, you said you weren't 100% sure, so I wanted to make sure.
No, I'm 100% sure.
It's now 6:40 a.m., at least 17 minutes after Haylee was likely hit.
Where's your son?
He came to my house, and then he showed me where, he told me about where the mailbox was, and I'm like, okay. And then he's like, it's a plastic one on the side of the road, a white one.
At the time of the accident, Haylee's mom says she was wearing dark clothing. These jeans, Converse, and this gray and black top. FHP in their report did say it was dark at the time of the crash with no lighting.
I see cars coming now.
Okay. You see lights and sirens coming?
Yeah, and like I said, I'm looking at the tracks on the road and stuff like that. There's nothing that he swerved over the side. It's all...
All right.
A trauma helicopter lands on scene at 7:12 a.m. It's now nearly an hour after FHP believes Haylee was hit. Medical records show at this point paramedics put Haylee on oxygen. But it takes nearly another hour to get her to the hospital and seen by a trauma team.
The damage was too far.
According to Haylee's hospital paperwork summary, she had no broken bones and no damage to any vital organs except her brain, which was bleeding. A CT scan shows that bleed turned into an anoxic brain injury, meaning her brain wasn't getting oxygen. We wanted to know if the length of time it took to get Haylee to the hospital played a factor in her death.
Her not getting oxygen for that amount of time.
So we sent her records to another neurologist to review. Brent Maysell is the National Medical Director for the Brain Injury Association of America.
Would getting her treatment earlier potentially have made a difference in her chance of survival?
Yes, the delay undoubtedly made things a whole lot worse. time his brain.
FHP says the teen driver told investigators he was looking for something in his bag when the crash happened. And investigators in their crash report concluded the teen operated the motor vehicle in a careless or negligent manner and fled the scene. But the state's attorney responded to the report, writing prosecutors don't plan to file criminal charges because the, quote, facts of the case don't establish the defendant was aware of the victim's injuries when the defendant left the scene of the accident. But did add if more evidence is uncovered, they take another look at the case. For Jericho, it all feels so unfair. She's waited too many months for justice, and Haylee, too many minutes for help. A daughter's story cut short, her grieving mother's still unwritten.
How can you grieve with an open ending? She's still in the ICU in my mind. And I wake up in the morning, I have a panic thinking I need to rush back to the hospital. And then I have to remind myself.
We called the prosecutor to ask why the case didn't merit reckless driving or hit and run charges. Prosecutor Bill Long told me he can't comment on this case, but said in general his team is cautious about prosecuting for lesser charges, as double jeopardy could be a roadblock in pursuing more serious charges down the road.
Kate, what about this teen's family? Have they said anything? Have you spoken with them?
Yeah, Shannon, I actually spoke to both the father and the teen's attorney as well. Both of them declined to comment.
Kate, thank you.